at the Mill Hill Playhouse, and Shakira, who is also here as well. So ladies, welcome to the program.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Casey, why don't you slide that mic just a little bit more over to your, there you go,
I can do
perfect.
that.
So Shakira, why don't you give us an introduction as to who you are and what brought you to Trenton?
Sure. Shakira Abdul Ali, and I'm here really as a private citizen entrepreneur. I participated in the Creative Trenton program, and I moved to Trenton about 4 or 5 years ago from Burlington County. And so the Creative Trenton opportunity was really my first real opportunity to participate in the community. And so that was a thrill for me.
That's fantastic. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
To Trenton. It's always nice to have creative people and people who are ambitious, and I love having people with an entrepreneurial spirit. Any place in the midst of me. Casey, for the folks who don't know you, just give you a brief bio and let's get into talking about Creative Trenton.
You got it. So I'm Casey O'Brien. I'm the producer at Passage Theater Company, and I also work for an organization called Creative New Jersey, which is the sort of umbrella organization that works with communities to be able to foster innovation, creativity, and sustainability. And we were very blessed, and I was very blessed, to have a Creative Trenton convening take place at the very end of January. And that was my first community working with Creative New Jersey, which is near and dear to my heart. So I was thrilled to be able to do so.
Awesome. Now, I was at the event as well, and for those of you watching and listening, it was absolutely amazing, but it's a little tricky, and the reason why it's a little bit tricky is the type of setting it is. So, Casey, can you just talk about the setting and what it encompasses?
Sure. Yes, Creative Trenton is a little tricky only because the first time you hear about it, you think there's no way it's ever going to work. We bring together a cross-sector group of people. We're talking diversity in socioeconomic status, in multi-generational status, in cultural status, and then also sectors. So we had people at Creative Trenton, 125 plus people who showed up for a 2-day convening that included members from commerce, government, education, philanthropic, cultural, and community sectors. So it was really an opportunity for people to be in the room together who had never, ever had a reason to be in the same room together before. And what we found came out of that was really special because there are no speakers. There is no agenda set. The agenda is created by the participants when they arrive for the convening itself. And because of that, you find out very quickly what is of importance to an individual community, where the energy is, and what issues are most urgent and most exciting for the community to really tackle. And I know Shakira can talk about part of that because she had an incredibly vibrant conversation about a couple of different issues.
And I absolutely would love for you to take over now.
Sure, absolutely. So yes, the event was called an open space event. I said I'm an entrepreneur. I'm actually an organization development consultant, and the event itself was a tool that professionals in my field use to help people in a particular area talk about what is important to them. So when I heard that there was this open space opportunity coming up in the form of Creative Trenton, it was exciting to me because there are two things that I was very interested in talking about, and fortunately I was able to talk about both of those things. There were other people there who were interested in talking about those things. The first was about the presence of guns and gang violence in our city, and the other was what are opportunities for us to produce homegrown entrepreneurs? That is, in addition to being an organization development professional, I actually started out my career doing economic development and small business development. So I have been interested in figuring out how do we grow entrepreneurs from this economy, and it occurs to me that the gang violence and the guns, the presence of the guns, is really kind of an offshoot of there not being economic opportunity, jobs, job programs, and jobs to people who, got to figure out a way to make a living. And so gangs have been the way that they've done that. But I think that there is a way that we can grow entrepreneurs. And I was just ecstatic to connect with two groups in particular who have the same interest. And so we've actually been in pursuit of that conversation since the meeting. We've met once, and we have another meeting scheduled, and we're actually working on a white paper to pursue funding to get this entrepreneurial initiative off the ground.
That's awesome. When I think about the open space idea, like that being the setting for the event, it was my second opportunity to be involved in a meeting like that. And the first time I was very uneasy about how's this going to work. What do you mean? There's no agenda. There's no moderator.
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly is this?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that it was an arts-based program prior that I went to that was open space, and it was amazing. And this one was very interesting to me because what happened was the action steps. I mean, the action steps is what motivates me and gets me excited. We can go and sit and we can talk for hours, but I want to know what we're actually doing. So, Casey, I want you to talk a little bit more about the marketplace and and how that kind of all works in the actual cosmos of the open space.
Absolutely. So each community that we work with develops a central question. And in this case, Trenton's question was, how do we connect and collaborate to create meaningful partnerships to foster innovation and creatively revitalize Trenton? And so all of the questions that were then created were based off of that central one. Participants, when they arrived, were told, if you have a question that relates to this central question, write it down on a piece of paper. That piece of paper goes up on a wall called the marketplace. You don't have to be an expert in your question. You just have to be passionate about it and willing to lead the breakout session on it. So it forces and encourages people to actually take responsibility for their own level of engagement. Once all of the questions that want to be asked are asked and are up on the marketplace wall, all of the participants get to browse that wall and they figure out which questions they're interested in, which ones they want to go to. And they're encouraged also to make sure that if they have multiple interests that they bounce around. You don't have to stay in one. And that's very different from conventional convening structures and conference structures. And again, it allows people to stay engaged all the time, because if you're not getting anything out of a conversation or not contributing to it, you get up and you move on. You go to the next one. And so it allows people to find their sort of best creative partners in a way over the course of that event, because you are engaging with people on issues that you care passionately about.
So Shakira, let's swing back over to you. And what are the action steps? You spoke about, like, you already had a couple of meetings and so forth with your group. A big thing is partnerships and collaboration. So talk about your experience and how that's progressed into actually having the meetings.
Yes. So as I said, I am a consultant. But I was able to connect with two groups in particular. One is called Minding Our Business, which is a group that supports entrepreneurship among 6th through 8th graders, and they also work with high school students. I think this organization has been around for about 20 years.
That's
and
Kevin Wortham?
They've had
Yep.
Kevin Wortham. They've had you know the names better than I do. As I said, I'm working with folks. We're working with each other's energy. I'll catch up with the names in a little bit. So we're working with Minding Our Business, and we are collaborating with an organization called Repent, which is chaired by a gentleman named Marte King, who works for the Trenton Housing Authority. So the Trenton Housing Authority kind of served as a base for our meeting, and is kind of serving as a base for our establishing ourselves, I should say. They haven't committed anything other than meeting space at this point. But the idea is to pull together an actual incubator facility, a small business incubator facility that is going to focus its attention on supporting entrepreneurs among ex-offenders.
Okay.
So the idea is to help ex-offenders pursue entrepreneurship.
Excellent. We'll be back just after the break, folks, and we'll be talking with Casey O'Brien and Shakira Abdul Ali, talking more about Creative Trenton and Creative New Jersey in general. You're listening to WIMG 1300, and then the program is In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks.
Tip number 25. According to the American Heart Association, American children ages 2 to 17 spend an average of 25 hours per week watching TV. That's more than any other activity except sleeping. A 15-minute family walk after dinner is a great way to connect with your kids and get them moving.
Is the IRS knocking on your door for back taxes? Are you being threatened with bank levies or wage garnishments? Let us negotiate with the IRS for you. It's a lot easier. We deal with the IRS every day, so you don't have to. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, or you haven't filed in a while, pick up your cell phone and call now for free information. We have experts standing by right now who know the tax codes and know the secrets to settle your back taxes for less, if you qualify. We'll explain to you how we may be able to settle your taxes for less than what you currently owe. So call today for your free evaluation. Remember our motto: if you can't pay your back taxes, call now, see if you can pay less. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, call Alpha Tax now for free advice on how you can pay less.
800-961-3631, 800-961-3631, 800-961-3631, 800-961-3631.
And welcome back, folks, to In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You're listening live over WIMG 1300, also streaming over the internet, WIMG1300.com, and on Facebook and Twitter as well. If you're watching on television, it's via WPHY, Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. Guests tonight are Casey O'Brien, who is director at the Passage Theater, which is located in Trenton, New Jersey at the Mill Hill Playhouse, but she's also working in another capacity with Creative New Jersey, and specifically Creative Trenton, which is what we're going to be talking about in the second half of the program. And our new guest, or the other guest, is Shakira Abdul Ali, who is actually at the Creative Trenton event, and she's going to be reporting back on the partnerships and the meetings that you've been to. So just before the break, you were talking about Kevin Wortham's organization that you worked with, Minding Our Business, and also Repent, Marte King's
Yes.
organization. So talk a little bit about the meetings that have taken place after the Creative Trenton introduction.
Yes. So at the Creative Trenton event, I did ask for a group of people to come together who wanted to talk about growing entrepreneurship among ex-offenders, and those two gentlemen were among several others who came into the circle that we had, and we talked, and at our subsequent meetings we've decided that we really want to take a very creative approach around building an incubator facility. Normally a business incubator will provide the basic overhead equipment and facilities for small businesses, like they'll have computers and phones and meeting rooms and that kind of thing. Well, we are looking to expand that concept to really kind of support the population of people that we're trying to deal with, which may include temporary housing. We're talking about people who are coming out of incarceration. So we're talking about a mixed-use facility that would include housing and also business development space. And so at this point, we are now putting together a concept paper that will allow us to actually go for funding. We're inviting other participants to come. In fact, we had a representation from downtown Trenton. John Gordon. John Gordon. Yes, John
Commissioner.
Gordon.
Yes.
John Gordon was at the meeting, and a couple of other gentlemen as well. And we're going to be collaborating with those three organizations and bringing in others as well. So we'll be looking to get funding to actually pull together a building.
So that's part of the action steps that took place
Absolutely.
literally just a couple of weeks after
That's
the
right.
Creative Trenton event. Casey, what's the Creative Trenton contact information, how people can find out more about it?
Sure. Creative Trenton actually has a Facebook group page that you can join if you're interested in being part of it. You can find that through the Creative New Jersey Facebook page. Creative New Jersey is in the process of launching a new website, but you can find basic information on the website, which is creativenj.org. You can also always email me, and that's K. O'Brien, KOBRIEN, at creativenj.org.
Okay, creativenj.org. And we all know that, like I said earlier, it all works with partnerships and collaboration and good communication. Who are some of the sponsors who've helped out with the Creative Trenton event?
We were very lucky to be able to have this event hosted by the Living Hope Empowerment Center, which is right next to the Hedgepeth Williams School. And a lot of people don't know about it. It used to be the Police Athletic League space. And so Francis Blanco and the staff there were just extraordinarily welcoming and gave us real opportunity to spread out and do everything that we needed. The College of New Jersey helped by donating laptops and other electronic equipment to help us with the newsroom. We also received support from the Trenton Downtown Association, from Rider University's Arts Administration Department, and in addition to that, also the I Am Trenton Foundation helped support the supplies and some of the food, which was provided by local businesses, Cafe Olé and Trenton Social. It was a really homegrown affair, so we've been very glad to do that. And we actually are also very lucky to be able to partner with the Citizens Campaign and Impact Trenton, who are going to be hosting a series of events to use as follow-up for Creative Trenton. The first event actually is a civic happy hour, which is next Wednesday, February 26th, and that runs from 5:30 to 7:30 and will be held at Trenton Social. So if folks are interested in coming to that, learning about some of the work that's been happening since Creative Trenton, the convening, then they are more than welcome to do so. Just RSVP to me or to Lauren at citizenscampaign.org.
And folks, if you're familiar with me, and you can see like there's this crossing over and cross-reference of all these different organizations working together, which is what we can do when we really try to let everyone have their voice and have their position. I mean, you talk Trenton Social, Cafe Olé, the Mill Hill Playhouse, Passage Theater, WIMG, Living Hope Empowerment Center, Trenton Athletics, or PAL, all these different organizations coming together because there is a strong spirit here to make Trenton better, for it to improve, and for people to do some things and get involved and get in the game, which is really the most important thing about this. So give the contact information one more time for Creative Trenton and the information about the event next week.
Great. So Creative Trenton, again, you can reach us on the Facebook page via Creative New Jersey and then ask to be part of the group. You can also contact me, Kay O'Brien, at creativenj.org, and then to RSVP to the Citizens Campaign Civic Happy Hour event next week on Wednesday. You'd want to RSVP to either me or to Lauren at citizenscampaign.org.
Excellent. And I also want to say, I Am Trenton, that was sort of the umbrella organization that kind of worked with getting this Creative Trenton initiative started. Is that correct as well?
Actually, yes. A number of the board members of the I Am Trenton Foundation, I Am Trenton Foundation or Creative
I Am
New Jersey.
Trenton.
I Am Trenton Foundation were part of the host team to launch Creative Trenton. And so Dan Fatton, who's the president, actually was, through the course of the two-day convening, wanted folks to know that the all of the summary from those 2 days is actually posted on the I Am Trenton Foundation website, and they're going to be creating a box in their grant applications for the next cycle that allows people who are doing projects that have been born out of Creative Trenton to gain extra points toward a possible grant. So that's a really wonderful outcome for us too, to be able to have some local philanthropic support too.
That's excellent. Well done and well constructed and well put. Now, Shakira, so your organizations that you've partnered with, and you're looking at taking the initiative and creating a bit of an incubator. In the small breakout sessions, there was lots of discussion about all the different groups that are doing similar things, and a lack of communication between them. What have you found out in your couple of meetings that you've met with Minding Our Business and Repent, as far as breaking those lines?
Right. Well, Repent and Minding Our Business, both of them have been involved in doing entrepreneurial activity. I'm not sure if they collaborated prior to this event. They may have done some things. They may have supported each other. Maybe shared trainers, for example, to do business planning with the participants of each of the programs. But this will definitely solidify their collaborative effort, and they are also identifying other entrepreneurship training organizations and trainers to come to the table to participate with us in building this initiative. We're looking at pulling together, for example, sort of a hybrid employment agency where the trainees, the apprentices, the apprentice entrepreneurs will be able to work with local established business owners and have their salaries subsidized and possibly shared, and this kind of hybrid employment agency that we're dreaming about, because we're dreaming it up. It doesn't exist at this moment, but the idea is to bring together entrepreneurs in the city so that we can collaborate together in growing more entrepreneurs among Trenton residents. So it's been a really exciting experience for me.
Yeah, it's very exciting for me as well, especially being a Trentonian. So looking forward, looking ahead, you've recently moved to Trenton.
Yeah.
Correct.
2009.
Okay, well, yeah, that's recent enough.
Yeah,
You're
it's recent
adopted, you're in.
Yes, that's right.
We always want great people who want to come into the city. You're always willing to come, always welcome to come. But how do you feel as though the Creative Trenton event, and I'm sure that's not your first exposure to Trenton, but what does that do to solidify your choice to come here? A gathering of people like the Creative Trenton event.
Well, it's kind of serendipitous how I got here. I was leaving a relationship, which doesn't need to be discussed. But the idea was that I was just looking for a place that I could just kind of restart, do a reset on my life. I had worked in Trenton. I worked for the state government for a number of years for the Commerce Department when we had a Commerce Department. And what the Creative Trenton event did for me was to really kind of introduce me to the energy of the city. I've gone to, events and activities around the city. I've seen faces on Facebook, people in the area. But this really gave me an idea of the vibrant community life in the city. I just had no idea. I didn't have any idea how many community-based organizations there are in this town. Huge. Just huge number. And so that's inspiring. I've worked in urban development, and I understand economic development. The base of the community here is very strong. So that's just inspiring. I'm just glad that I landed here.
We're done. So the folks who are unsure about whether or not they want to come to Trenton, if you always want to look at all of the information that's available to you, not just one media outlet or one type of information. There's a lot of wonderful things taking place here in the city. And you can find out more about those individuals and those people by tuning into WIMG on Monday nights from 8 to 9 for the Trenton 365 show, which is also on Facebook, where you can actually hear more stories about people who are in the Trenton region who want to make a difference, are making a difference, and ways for you to contact them. So moving on, Casey, we got about a minute left. What I'd like you to do is share the contact information one more time.
You got it.
And then talk about, again, the happy hour.
Sure. We have two ways that you can reach us. One is the Facebook page, Creative New Jersey, and then there's a Creative Trenton group that you can join from that. And then also contacting me directly, kobrien@creativenj.org, or going to the website creativenj.org.
Excellent.
Yep.
So Casey O'Brien and Shakira Abdul Ali, thank you both for coming on, talking about Creative Trenton and your experiences with that. I'm Jacque Howard, your host. You've been listening to In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks, WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com. Have a great night.
In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks is a program that explores different topics that are of interest to you. In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks can be heard every Tuesday night on 1300 WIMG at 6 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. and seen on WPHY 25. This is a service of WPHY Channel 25 and the Morris Broadcasting Company.